wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Glad tidings we bring and a free download of the Christmas Guidebook if you want to go to TV Brain. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yes, I know. With a voice like that, you can see why I never went into singing, can't you really? In fact, the rabbit has gone and hid under the table. I might have to perform cardiac arrest surgery on him to bring him back to life after that. But never mind. It's Christmas and nothing is going to spoil my mood. Welcome to 2 Christmas Kaleidopods. If we have too much material, you'll be hearing this in 2 separate chunks, one on Christmas Eve and one on New Year's Eve. Welcome to the Christmas Eve Kaleidopod. Starting off our Christmas fun from the 25th of December 1971, here is the Mike Yarwood section from Christmas Night with the Stars.
Police are also looking for a man who could be impersonating Mr. Edward Heath, Mr. Harold Wilson, Tommy Cooper, or Ken Dodd. They issued this identikit picture. He answers to the name of Mike Yarwood, and when last seen, he was right here.
Thank you so much, and good evening and a very Merry Christmas. And it's a great pleasure to be allowed into your homes on Christmas Day, loveliest day of the year, I think. A day when everybody relaxes. And I've been thinking about relaxation. I've been thinking about how many famous people might relax on Christmas Day. And I've put a few people together, beginning with this gentleman.
What a lovely welcome. Thank you, good evening, nice to see you. To see you?
Well, there's 2 of you anyway.
I'm very thrilled to be here this evening. I really do like the gear, the Christmas gear. I'll never get handbag and gloves to match. But it's so nice to be at home, doing the game at home on Christmas Day. It's so nice, it really is. And I can't wait, I really can't wait to introduce you to my first relative on the show, my dear sister. Nice round of applause, my sister. Thank you, Auntie dear. Thank you, Auntie dear. Yes.
Nice to see you, no.
Yeah. I've done that bet, dear. Don't get carried away. But you know, get over here, lad. When you see, because I'm going to be over here. Now, we're going to play a game here. It's quite simple, dear, really. I'm going to pretend to be well-known people disguised as Father Christmas, and you've got to guess who they are.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we're going to have a ball with this one, I can see. We've got trouble here right away.
Anyway, you talk amongst yourselves while I get this.
I'm so thrilled to be around. I'm so thrilled. What did I do? Oh.
Oh, I had a terrible job talking with his beard on. I had a terrible job getting down next door's chimney. They got central heating.
Well, who was that, dear?
I don't know, but I'm so thrilled to be around. I'm so thrilled.
I'll tuck her in the soundproof box. No, listen, dear, I'll make it a bit easier. I'll take the beard off. I'll make it a bit easier for you. I'll do another one for you. Who's this? Friends, I want to thank you and welcome you here. I'll put that in. I want to tell you something, friends. We're very thrilled because here on the festive occasion, we're very thrilled to be doing the show with you. Thank you, humanity, friends. Thank you, humanity. And I want to tell you, friends, we want you to be nice to each other in the new year and help old people across the road and do nice things to each other. Even if they don't want to go, help them across the road. And I think that's a pretty good speech I've just made there. I think I deserve a nice round of applause for that. I really do. How about that? Yeah. Look at that here.
Frankie Howard, and I'm so thrilled to be around. I'm so thrilled.
All right, dear, all right. Don't get carried away. Well, I'm afraid you didn't do too well, did you, my dear? No, you didn't win. We're very sorry, because we do like people to win. But we have a nice consolation prize, and dear, if you would, please. Ooh. Thank you, dear. Yes, that's what I like, new faces. Anyway, there we are, my love. We've got a love. Thank you, Auntie, dear. Thank you. We've got a lovely television set there for you, and we wish you many happy hours of viewing.
Oh, thank you. Watch it now.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome. Well, it's very nice to be here on Christmas Day. Not everybody get the opportunity here because it's all over the place, but it's nice to be here on Christmas Day.
I've got all my relatives with me. They've come for a bit of plum pudding. They've come from all four corners of a Great Britain. They've come from Halifax to Hunslet, Hull and Oldham. And, well, we got to find the turkey here for them to get stuck in two. All in a bit of trouble here, though, you know. Some want the leg, some want the wing, and some want the breast. Well, there's only one way to sort it out. I'm sorry I'm late, Mary, but there was a hell of a queue at the co-op. You know, the sooner we get into the common market, the better.
But I thought you said you didn't want to become one of the stick.
By that, of course, I meant the Liberal Party.
I wish you'd say what you mean.
My dear Mary, if I said what I meant, I'd be one of the 1 million unemployed, which I always try to mention whenever I get the opportunity.
What present did you get?
Well, I got some quite interesting presents. Heaven knows I should do. I'm popular enough. I got a very nice sock from Michael Foot. And I got a book token from David Dimbleby. Think about that one. Oh, and I got a very nice little teddy. Of course, the only trouble with this, Mary, is I have to keep my mouth shut while he does all the talking. Still, it's got more life in it than the real one.
I wonder how he's spending Christmas.
Good evening. May I say what a pleasure it is to be able to talk to you on this festive occasion. It gives me the opportunity to tell you exactly what I've achieved since I became your Prime Minister. As this is Christmas Day, and it is, I give you my word, some of you may be slightly inebriated. Some of you may be very inebriated. This is why I've chosen this occasion to tell you exactly what I've achieved since I became Prime Minister. Even Harold's not as clever as that. I think my greatest achievement was to have conducted the London Symphony Orchestra. My predecessor's only claim to having any musical ability was to sing a song with Ina Sharple. But what of the future, I hear you ask? Well, we are now nearing the end of 1971. And I promise you that next year will be 1972. I give you my word. Ah, Hetty, my housekeeper.
Hello there. Now, I just thought I'd pop in and remind you haven't had your kiss under the mistletoe yet, here.
You're quite right, Hetty, I haven't. I always say, if you want a job doing properly, do it yourself. Well, Hetty, as it's Christmas Day, grab yourself a handful of nuts.
No, thank you, dear. No. No, I don't want to do that, and they get under me plate.
Well, now, I think it would be a good idea, Hetty, if we wished everybody a musical Merry Christmas. What do you say?
Wonderful. Go on in.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Sorry New Year.
From the 16th of December 1969, here is Graham Garden, Tim Buck Taylor, Graham Chapman and Arthur Lowe on Scylla.
Just come along here with me.
What's going on?
Just come along here.
What's going on?
Tonight, we have a big surprise for you. That was your life,
Oh!
Scylla Black.
I didn't know.
All right,
Dear.
all right.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, I'll do the talking. You just sit there and giggle. Very good. Now, Scylla Black, your story begins when you were born in Liverpool. This came as a great surprise to your parents, who were in Leeds at the time. Now, when you were a little girl, you spent the summer holidays in the countryside where you stayed on a farm.
That's right.
Of course it's right. Do you recognize this voice?
Ferris here, I'll take him by dinner before I go east, that's free metal.
Well, that sounds like Farmer Bute, but surely he's not still alive.
No, he's not. His son Tom is, so come in, Tom Bude. Well, Tom, you obviously remember Scylla. Tom. What? You remember Scylla then, Tom?
Oh, I do that. Ever since she was so wee. Yeah, she'd come down to Long Mile Bottom, bless her little heart. And I can remember now the sound of her merry childish laughter as she watched me killing the sheep with my bare hand. Then I'd set her on my knee and I'd sing dirty songs. But this was her favourite. Oh, Auntie Mary had a canary. Oh, I better leave it there. What? Oh, well, we don't see me chums. It's nearly sheep killing time.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you again, Tom.
Thank you, Tom Bude. And now moving straight along, let's meet our next surprise guest. Yes, after all these years, it's Uncle Norman.
I haven't seen him before.
Of course you haven't. He's my Uncle Norman. But now, let's pick up your story where we left off. You were abroad when war broke out. But when you got back to Munich, you immediately joined the army. There you had a distinguished military career, and do you remember this voice?
Well, I don't sort of talk into this thing, do I? What? Damn nonsense you asked me. Was that all right?
Yes, it's your old commanding officer, Major General Frensham Pig.
How do you?
Well, Major General, what do you remember about Scylla?
Oh, he was a damn fine soldier. Grand sense of initiative and leadership, yes. Who the hell's that?
That's Scylla.
Bit of a sissy, isn't he? Good God, the man's wearing a frock.
Hey, hang on a minute.
Oh, that's the trouble with youngsters these days. They should be in the army, learning a career, getting shot, that sort of thing. Pull yourself together, man. Why didn't you go out and kill a few sheep? That's what I'm gonna do. Don't load the bazooka.
Thank you, Major General. But no, when you left the army, Scylla, you went into show business, and then came fame, fortune, and plastic surgery.
Hello, Philip. You there, there? Oh, it's her.
Yes, it's your old friend and plastic surgeon, Babs Lamour. Well, now, tell us, Babs, did you have any trouble? No. Did you have any trouble with Scylla as a patient?
No, Huey. I had no trouble with Scylla. Or George, as he then was. You promised not to mention anything about that. Shut up and giggle. Giggle.
Perhaps you'll tell us how you managed to remodel Scylla's nose.
Clothes pegs.
Close peg.
Yeah, it's quite simple. 1, clip a clothes peg to each nostril. 2, tie the clothes pegs to a lorry. 3, push the lorry off the roof. Whee! Oh God, nasty business.
What about the mole?
Oh, I shot it.
Do you do a lot of this work?
Yes, I done plastic surgery on Tom Jones, The Bachelors, Dusty Springfield, David Hemmings. Oh, and I had enough little bits left over to make Marty Feldman.
Thank you, Babs Lamour. And now, Scylla, we turn to romance. Do you remember your first childhood sweetheart?
Oh, Raymond Eckersley.
Yes, Raymond. 10 years ago, he emigrated to New Zealand, and you haven't seen him since.
Oh, no,
I'd wondered what happened to him.
Well, New Zealand's a long way away. 10 years is a long time. But tonight, surprise, surprise, we've just heard he's been run over by a bus. This is the bus. Well, Cilla, that brings us up to date. That was your life, Cilla Black,
Oh, thank you very much.
for a small fee. You wouldn't like this getting in the Sunday papers now, would you?
That's blackmail.
Yes, madam, it is. This is a cunning Eamon Andrews impersonator. And I would like to warn the general public against this menace. So, if you find Eamon Andrews bursting into your home, or find anyone in the street impersonate him, just tip us the wink. Eamon Andrews, yes? Oh! Caught you there. Eamon Andrews, I arrest you for impersonating a police officer. And I arrest you for impersonating Eamon Andrews. We're not all fools in the force, you know. Carry on, miss.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Don't mention it.
The ATS's answer to Berlin, singing one of his all-time hits. Here he is, Captain Arthur Mannering Lowe.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England done? Mr. Brown goes off to town on the 821. He comes home each evening and he's ready with his gun. So who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the girls who will stop your little game. We are the girls who will make you think again.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done? Mr. Brown goes off to town on the 821. He comes home each evening and he's ready with his gun. So who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?
We do love our present continuity on Kaleidoscope's Kaleidopod. And here's the trailer for Basil Brush's Christmas Fantasy, plus the continuity announcement and weather forecast by Keith Best at approximately 12:11 p.m. on the 21st of December 1974.
Tomorrow afternoon on BBC One, Basil Brush's Christmas Fantasy.
You wish to visit the waxwork land of fairy tale and nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
And with my magic pipe, I can bring your wish to life.
Oh.
You coming, Basil?
Yeah, I'm coming, Mr. Roy. I mean, Mr. Peter. Give it the toot on your flute.
Right, Basil. Follow the pipe.
Yeah. Hey. Hang on. I can't get the carpet motor started.
Hurry up, Basil!
Oh, no, Mr. Roy. I'm about to fall asleep.
I'm not Mr. Roy, I'm the Pied Piper, remember? And you wish to visit the land of fairy tale and nursery rhyme.
Oh, yes, the waxwork. Cool. It's a bit spooky in here, isn't it?
Not for long.
No?
Watch this.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. The waxworks are coming to life. Hey, look at that chopper. What a whopper.
Basil, meet Jack.
Oh.
Now, he's just grown the biggest beanstalk in the world.
Really? First he'd throw a will be limit.
Basil Brush's Christmas Fantasy, tomorrow afternoon at 3:50 on BBC One. Full details in the Christmas double issue of Radio Times, on sale now. In a moment on BBC One Grandstand, first the weather outlook with Keith Best.
Good afternoon. The chart behind me is very similar to those of several days past. We have a depression moving to the northeast of us. It's moving between us and Iceland, moving northeast, and at the same time we have this front trailing across the country. It's rather brighter weather to the north of the front, but near and to the south of it, then there's more cloud and some rain. This front is moving very slowly southeastward, but it is slow, and it's also rather erratic as waves like this one riffle along it. So when we come to look at today's weather, we find that Scotland and Northern Ireland are having the brightest weather. There'll be some sunshine there today, but also a few showers, and some of them over the Highlands mainly will be fairly heavy, possibly with a clap or two of thunder. Now this brighter weather trying to get across the borders into northernmost counties of England during the afternoon, but over the rest of England and Wales, a good deal of cloud with occasional rain or drizzle, especially in this western part here. And another feature of today's weather, the windiness again, strong winds with possibly gales near these western coasts. But again, temperatures well above the normal for this time of the year. Now this cloudy area tending to move northwards during tonight, so that England and Wales during this evening and tonight, and also southern Scotland, having a good deal of cloud and occasional rain or drizzle. But northern parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland, generally speaking, staying in clearer, showery weather. Temperatures hardly falling at all tonight, and again, a windy night, and very gradually clearer weather coming southwards again. So when we look at the Atlantic chart again, we think that front that I was talking about will be lingering around southern or southeastern parts of the country during tomorrow, which means that these parts are likely to have yet another cloudy but mild day. Mild over the whole country, but further north, the cloud more broken, a greater chance of some sunshine, but also some showers in the northwest here. Looks like being another mild but windy day tomorrow. That's all from me at the moment.
I apologise for this being slightly over-recorded, but we thought it was worth including it because they are, after all, mega heroes. This is an interview with Monty Python from Late Night Lineup on the 18th of December 1970.
Well, stay with us for an exclusive report from the heart of Python Regis. A lineup reporter, Michael Dean, was smuggled into the final recording of the series at great personal risk. So for some unbiased muckraking about the hideous malpractices of Cleese, Chapman, Idle, Gilliam, Jones and Palin, stay tuned. The present series of Monty Python's Flying Circus ended tonight, and Michael Dean was in the audience to do what he could on our behalf to try to put a stop to the sort of bad taste exampled here.
Who's going to be spokesman anyway? John.
Michael.
No, Terry. No.
After Lethbridge.
Michael.
No. It's not fair.
I think like Michael Perry must start with you. Remembering that the people who are watching us now as we speak in this interview situation won't have seen this final show of the series, which you've just done.
Yeah.
And it included the final sketch, which is probably the most tastest thing you've ever done. The one about cannibalism, mother eating.
I don't know. You see the one about Late Night
I'm forgetting that one.
Eric's the spokesman.
All right, Eric's the spokesman.
How far do you think in the audience?
Yeah, Eric, how far do you think you can push? How far do you think you can push comedy? I mean, are there certain things you can't joke about? I mean, tonight you joked about leprosy, cancer, cannibalism, mother eating, incest. Is that on?
We missed it.
Incest.
I think when you say it like that, it sounds worse than if it just kind of happens in a sketch and someone says the word, and then people don't think about it beforehand. But when you isolate it, like, I'm being serious, sorry. Sorry, I was being serious.
Fine, mate. Oh, well, I'd like to be serious just for a minute. Terry, is there a boundary you can't cross in comedy? Like a boundary of taste? I mean, I think you've crossed it a couple of times successfully.
Hang on. In the show. Oh, yes.
He's just rude.
Right, rude. No, I think everything's funny, and I think it transcends most boundaries, actually. I think if it makes me laugh, I wouldn't say no to anything. I don't say anyway. I want to talk to Terry Gilliam. He's very, articulate.
American. Some of your stuff, perhaps a great deal of it, is rejected. Quite untrue.
None of it's stolen.
No, it's not rejected. No, everything so far has gone in, hasn't it?
No.
I haven't seen several shows for a moment. John, I'm told that among yourselves, Monty Python, among other things, is known as the not fully networked show. This means, of course, that it's not seen nationwide.
No, it's right, Brian. Well, we're trying to get the show, trying to get it shown up in Scotland and the Midlands.
Yes.
But as I say, things go with you. Sometimes they don't go with you. Till we get the people up the front. Yeah, that's it. Hit the ball first. We can't get in the back of the net. Get it right at the back. Once we're able to afford to bring the people in, right. It'll be all right. I mean, today, I missed a line early on. Well, you missed a line, right? It's life. You can't do nothing about it. Well, guys got behind me. They helped me through the bad patch, and in the end, I thought we was doing quite well.
Solve a mystery for me about. Yeah, thanks very much. But One of your shows in fact is seen in Scotland.
It's childish.
Yes, I know. And what are they on? No, your show is seen in Scotland, but a recent Monty Python show.
Sunday.
Yeah, no, they cut out the very last line of the final sketch of a series. So I still don't know what the payoff was, because I saw it in Scotland, you see. What was the line they cut out?
The very last line in one of our recent shows.
The word.
Which was...
Word.
I didn't want to say it, actually.
You think we ought to say it?
No, I don't think we ought to.
It ought to be funny in the
There was?
context.
Yes. It ought to be funny in the context.
If we said it nice, it might be a bit offensive.
It was valid, wasn't
We just
it?
get saying about that, it's offensive.
It's valid.
It was all right.
The extremely important people at the BBC saw it.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was funny, they let us do it.
Yeah.
But one of them said afterwards he wouldn't have envisaged any situation in which he would let us do it.
And it wasn't
But
Lord
we-
Hill.
But
No.
we did have, we had one complaint, apparently. One complaint.
That was Lord Hill.
Tell the story,
I'm not doing it like
Hold the story. Go on,
Okay.
hold the story.
We had one complaint, and the lady rang up, and they said, what was your complaint? And she said there was an offensive word at the end of that programme. And they said, what is the word? Because we need to know it to write it down. And she wasn't prepared to say what the word was, but she was prepared to spell it out. And it was B-U-G-A-R.
I'm trying to say bulgar.
Yeah,
It's all about Czechs, Hungarians.
Are you aware that there are people you offend, and are you aware of who they are? Is there a type of person you offend most of all, is he?
We offend many people, and I'll tell you why. Boring statement number one in one sentence is that most of the people who watch this show are not going to be offended by it. Because most of the people who are going to be offended will switch off after 3 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons that we can be very naughty.
You've done 13 shows with this series.
Imagine what scripting people are.
Yeah. Yes, what are they like, really? Are they total anarchy, or is there some kind of order?
I don't know how anything gets done.
Who's your leader?
The Lovers was a wonderful TV series starring Richard Beckinsale and Paul Wilcox, all of which survives except the All-Star Comedy Carnival mini Christmas insert. That only exists on audio recording held by us that was donated by Ed Doolan, and here it is in its entirety, all 8 minutes of it.
Now, you're sure you couldn't force anything down, Geoffrey?
I bet not, Mrs. Battersby. One of my New Year's resolutions was to live to see the new year in.
You didn't mind getting into Beryl's pyjamas, did you?
That was my second New Year's resolution.
Those Rose Clubs were out of this, weren't they?
They were lucky.
Oh,
I was just clearing my larynx.
A nice sardine sandwich, Brad.
No, thank you, Mrs. Battersby. Not even a rotten one.
oh, and those Brussels sprouts, out of sight.
In 3 minutes flat, creating a new British all-comers record. I was just clearing my larynx.
How about a nice soft-boiled chucky egg?
A what?
A for being Georgie Best.
Oh, well, yes, Mrs. Battersby.
Oh, well, I got on the last one when I was helping you make mince pies.
Thank you, dear.
Great.
Oh, Mom, you have just been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize by the British Corset Manufacturers Association.
That's nice.
Ooh, that turkey was something else.
Hippopotamus. I was just clearing my larynx.
How are you feeling now, Geoffrey?
Why, watching other people eat good for flu? Was it recommended by 7 out of 10 doctors before they were struck off?
Geoffrey, please don't be nauseating to my mother. She's had her head in the oven since dawn.
You should eat something, Geoffrey. Feed a cold to starve a fever. That's what my grandma used to say. She always used to say that. Always. I think that's probably why my granddad turned to Morris dancing.
But it is a fever, Mrs. Battersby.
You said it was flu,
And flu.
not double pneumonia.
Of course not. Not double.
Geoffrey, it's a miniature sniffle.
One of the symptoms is appearing to be a sniffle bell. The birthing fiancés whose minds have gone from eating too many Brussels sprouts.
I have never burped in my life.
That was the very first thing you did in life.
Thank you.
It's the pudding, dear.
Ooh. Ooh, yummy, yummy, you got your band powing.
You didn't take you off then, did you? Small? I think you mean yeah.
I'll take these down, shall I, with my bad leg? And bring up the pudding with my bad leg. While you stay here.
With my good one, tell Mum you're a gentleman.
Ah, you're not.
It's not just a sniffle, Beryl. I've got this funny tickle in my epiglottis.
Honestly, no sooner had Mamma quit the boudoir.
Pardon?
You and your epiglottis, Percy Phil.
You don't know where the epiglottis is, do you?
I know where yours is.
So if it was just a sniffle, your mother would have let me go home. My mothers know about these things. They've all got the home doctor strapped to the instep.
She couldn't have let you go home, Geoffrey, then you'd have had no Christmas dinner. And please don't say you didn't anyway.
I didn't anyway.
Honestly, you fiancé'd with 1E. Very logical.
Then, you're not missing murder anyway, are you?
Nothing the slightest, thank you, Mother. 1, 3, 5, 7. Little mini one, Heidi. 7.5 little lonely haired arms.
8.
It's like a little oasis on Morgan Beach. Do you think you'll grow another one when you grow up?
I'm not well, Beryl. If I don't live to see the season out, you can have me record of the World Cup squad singing Back Home. And tell Roland he can have me David Coleman book of football cliches, ancient and modern.
Say, it's just little. You're 7.5 hairs on the chest, man. You're supposed to be brave. You, Ricky, brave.
I haven't even mentioned the funny buzzing in my ears, Beryl. I've got a funny buzzing in my ears, Glenn.
Who was it once got a cold sore on his lip and rang up the Citizens Advice Bureau to find out if there was a leper colony in the Altrincham area?
Did Joy put
Oh, sorry, ha ha ha.
Anyway, it was 2 cold sores.
Pardon?
I'm fed up.
Shall I give you irrefutable proof that it's only a sniffle and what a groovy way to spend Christmas?
No thanks.
You're not even talking through your nose.
So what? Doesn't mean anything.
Suddenly start now.
I'm not doing.
I'm fed up.
Beryl?
We're not doing anything.
No, dear, that's a fart. Did you definitely want custard on your pudding?
Well, it is Christmas.
Thank you, dear. I do have a calendar. What I don't have is custard powder.
Are we speaking, Beryl?
I can't answer that. We're not speaking. You know, it's just possible I might just possibly give you your ring back. Possibly.
What for?
Talking through your nose.
Oh, don't say that, Beryl.
Never?
What?
I'm just sitting across to Mrs. Cardio to borrow some custard cider with my dad's leg.
Don't watch back, Mrs. Butterbeak.
Oh, why not?
You've got a bad leg.
Right.
Why?
Thank you, dear.
Hey, isn't that fantastic? Isn't that just too much?
Much too much. You suddenly feel better, yeah?
How do you know?
My mother's just gone out, QED.
Medical science astounded by remarkable recovery, says Daily Mirror.
Beryl Battersby saw it coming a mile off, says Beryl Battersby.
Beryl, bring your Mistletoe back.
N-O spells no. Well, sometimes, yeah. Especially at Christmas. Yuletide greetings, Geoffrey.
Seasonal joy, Beryl. Hey, you caught my sniffle. You better get in, Beryl, for medicinal set. Ray, the US cavalry is alive and well and stationed in Ultium.
Oh, Uncle Arthur, Auntie Phoebe, Uncle Walter, Auntie Polly and 2 ton cousin Sydney that slathers. All wearing new scarves. And my mum coming out and Mrs. Cowgirls pretending she's pleased to see them. Oh dear, I do hope she takes that paper out off before 12th night. She won't. Coming down?
Good afternoon, if you're Auntie Phoebe. I spent 3 weeks on Barcelona Airport because the hotel wasn't built, and when I got back I hadn't cancelled the milk. And have you seen me gallstone?
I'll bring you up till Christmas, Pud. Merry Christmas, Geoffrey.
Merry Christmas, Beryl.
Happy New Year.
You said that last year, and look what happened.
We got engaged.
Exactly.
When I finally manage to get into your bed, all I get a nibble of is Christmas pudding.
That's my Jesper. Shall I bring you up a custard sandwich instead?
That's my Beryl.
On Petula and Friends, the 27th of December 1971, this is Alf Garnett.
Beaucoup de manitas. C'était extraordinaire, comme toujours, à chaque fois je te vois, je te fais vraiment
All right, don't show off all that froggy talk, all that foony-voo. Foony-voo promenading, you think, Master Swart?
Then he doesn't speak English.
Clear out with all that foreign, mate. Everything's bloody foreign muck now, isn't it? I mean, what do I want to bring him over here for? I mean, we've got plenty of good English banjo players over here, haven't we? What do you want to bring a spagnoli like him over here for? I want to know.
Spagnoli?
Yeah.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Well, he's not Spanish, he's Basque.
Yeah, right, basket. Fed up with this. Bloody foreigners swarming over all the bloody common market. I mean, what can I do on a continent of Europe we can't do just as well over here? I answer me that.
Oh, well,
what can I do on a continent of Europe?
Just felt up. Maybe I could tell you.
Why, any more your bloody teeth, you'll get the back of my hand if all place, you will. Not me.
There are a lot of things they
Put
can
something decent on. Look at you sitting there all bulging yourself. Nothing want to say to yourself. Look at it, nothing on underneath.
There are lots of things they can do better on the continent that we can do here, and that is a fact.
What, for instance, Miss Cleverdick?
Well, there's cooking, for instance, food. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. You'll learn 100 new ways of cooking a soul.
Forget the lot, just give me toad in the hole.
Think of beurre bourguignon served with style and panache.
He'll never take the plate, salt bangers and mash.
Gruyere cheese.
Nuggets and peas.
Truffles you'll find ripping.
What, compared to bread and dripping, do me a favour, let's face it, there's no food in Paris or Rome that's half as good as what we've got at home.
Now, look, you're just being clear.
I've been silly facts, isn't it?
Everybody knows that French cooking is the best in the
Look,
world.
Miss Smarty Pants, for your information, French cooking is just a load of cock. Oh, bang, isn't it? Got French cooking is.
All right, let's leave food. What about love?
God, the same as all that. Go and wash your mouth out with soap and water.
Even you have to admit that the best lovers do come from the continent.
Don't admit nothing of the sort, do I?
Well, there's Sasha Digdale, and Marcello Mastroianni, and what about Yves Montand?
Well, I never liked her anyway. I never had no trouble with the old woman, did I? The silly old moo. I mean, I took her down Madame Tussauds, you know, down in the Chamber of Horrors down there. A attendant comes up, he says, "Oi, mate, is she with you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "It's my missus." He said, "Well, keep her moving, will you? We're stock taking." We've got away with us. We've got away with us, us English, with the girls, I'll tell you.
Well, you tell me how you go about
Well, I
it.
will, when it gets to the right place in the bloody music. Oh, you meet a bird you fancy, and you give her the eye. Take her down a path and buy her hot eels and pie, and then you chat her up and tell her she's a bit of all right. And after what she's doing for the rest of the night, da-da-da, stick a couple of points together. Then after that, after she like a little troll, up wants the flat, and if she does, you know you're in for a very good night.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, then what do you think, you know?
well, then you... Well, it's very embarrassing in mixed company, isn't it?
No, go on. We want to know.
Oh, at a suitable juncture, you know, you up to her and you say, "Oi, what about a bit?"
Oh, that's really terrible.
What are you talking about terrible facts?
I mean, that's terrible. You'd never get anywhere on the continent like that.
Don't want to get nowhere on the continent. I had a day trip to Boulogne. I wouldn't want to go again.
There was little more trouble over there.
Yeah, all part of it.
You eat a lovely mamselle on the Champs-Élysées, and then you take her to dine at a charming cafe, where you gaze in her eyes as you talk tete-a-tete, and you tell her you're so happy you met.
Not bad, is she?
Then you sip some champagne, and you no longer grieve. You hold her so closely as you dance cheek to cheek, and very soon in your room a violin starts to play. You hold her in your arms. Can you say,
Not as good as Anne Shelton was, though.
Chérie, chérie, je t'aime, j'ai tellement honte.
All right. Shut up with all that bloody rabbit. All that cobbler's mean then.
English?
Yeah.
You mean an exact translation?
Yeah.
It means, boy, what about a bit?
Anyway, I've had enough of the bloody frog. He's had enough of the French. Look what happened last time they come over here. 1066. Oh, blimey, they hadn't been here 5 minutes. They killed our king, didn't they? Fascinated, our king. Our darling Harold. Shot him right through the eye with an arrow, didn't they? Here, come to think of it, it might not be a bad idea if they did come back again. When we join the common market, what a black day that will be.
They'll pour in from the continent of Russia and Egypt.
And all the English would have gone off to live in Rhodesia when we join the common market.
You'll have hard, shake, without you'll visit Santo Bay, we'll float down the Rhine. The French will visit England, oh, it'll just be divine.
Yeah, they'll all be bathing starters in Newcastle on Tyne on the day that we're all one.
When we join
the common market, what a black day that will be.
You'll have beards, you'll have Citroens, and we'll all drive on the right.
Yeah, cars and cars, not a bleating parking place in sight. When we join the common market, as soon as we've begun.
From the highest hills in Europe to the vales of Liberty, people all will flock to London just to smile at Mr. Beat.
Yeah, and he'll be grinning back through his national healthy on the day that we're all one.
We'll swap ideas as people go to and fro.
Yeah, we'll swap Margaret Thatcher for Bridget Bardot on the day we join our married. On the day that we're all one. There's a lot of Tony with a nice voice. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Cookie's bloody well all right. And I come with a decent voice, don't I?
Yes, that was
I'll
nice.
tell you what, oi, do you know old Mother Ridey's pram? Here, Harry, just a minute. Do you know old Mother Ridey's pram? You say, how did it go?
How did it go?
You push it. I'll see, I'll do the comedy and all.
No.
Every little while, my heart is
Do a song
that.
at the piano.
Oh, you go and do a song on the piano. People want to listen to me, don't they? Go on, up it. Every little while. Oi, bring that camera back over here. Come on. Bloody sauce, isn't it? You don't get your hair cut off.
From the 25th of December 1969, Dudley Moore and Spike Milligan on With a Little Help from My Friends.
Well, I don't have a license specifically.
Well, you should. You can't do it these days in a mixed society. You've got to, if you want to play that tune, the Rachmaninoffs 1 and 2, you write off to your local MP, and you say, I'm doing Rachmaninoff in the lead. You've got to write off. So I'd reckon you ought to write. I mean, you wouldn't like him doing your that act of yours, or the you wouldn't like him doing that now, would you? Can we have a bit of paper? But have you? It started off, what's the name? Rachmaninoff.
Rachmaninoff.
Yeah, it's on the piano somewhere. Dear Rachmaninoff. Yeah, love, daddy, can we feel yes, daddy. No, with the E, with the E.
Oh, sorry.
Let it E. Fresh paragraph here. Up here. Let it E. Anybody told you you're lovely? I'll get this off in the post. There's another. What? Hold it.
I didn't have my ticket.
What?
I didn't sign it.
All right then. Go on then.
Or should I sign it?
Who do you know? Sign it, Princess Margaret.
You terribly well.
You terribly well then. You terribly well. That'll do then. Right. Yeah, well, we're having trouble down here. What's the matter with you? Doing our best. I mean, he's done this twice already tonight, you know what? All right, I'll try and do it. The geezer who's supposed to do the link up between Dudley Moore and the Blue Minx, isn't arrived there. So I've got to announce it. Where are they? Where are they going to be?
Over there. The blue, ladies and gentlemen, playing their melting pots. There's no me.
Take a pinch of white man, wrap it up in black skin, add a touch of blue blood, and a little bitty bit of red Indian boy.
Curly black and kinkies mixed with yellow chinkies. If you lump it all together, well, you got a recipe for a get-along scene.
Oh, what a beautiful dream.
If it could only come true, you know, what we need is a great big melting pot. I'm big enough to take the world and all it's got, and keep it stirring for 100 years or more, and turn out coffee-colored people by the score. Yellow bitty ground,
rabbis and the friars, bishops and the gurus. You got the Beatles or the sun god. Well, it really doesn't matter what religion you choose. No, no, no.
Mick and Lady Faithful. Oh, the Mrs. Graceful. You know the living could be tasteful. We should all get together in a loving machine.
I'd better call up the queen.
It's only fair that she knows, you know. What we need is a great big melting pot. Big enough, I'm big enough to take the world and all it's got, and keep it stirring for 100 years or more, and turn out coffee-colored people by the score. What we need is a great big melting pot. Big enough, big enough, big enough to take the world and all it's got, and keep it stirring for 100 years or more, and turn out coffee-colored people by the score. Yeah! What we need is a great big melting pot. Big enough, big enough, big enough to take the world and all it's got, and keep it stirring for 100 years or more, and turn out coffee-colored people by the score. Wow! Yeah, yeah! What we need is a great big melting pot. Big enough, big enough, big enough to take the world and all it's got, and keep it stirring for 100 years or more, and turn out coffee-colored people by the score.
Here we are, here we are, here we are again. It's Captain Mac and Johnny and Jack and Jack. When there's trouble brewing, when there's something doing, I'll be down the hard and snow. Let's all come. Here we are, here we are, here we are again. Never mind the weather. I'll gather it all together. Here we are again. There's an old mill by the stream,
right back to their own beds.
And as the waters as they flow seem to whisper my home. You are my heart's desire. I love you, Nellie Dean, sweet Nellie.
For the presentation.
And don't dilly-dally on the way. I followed on with the old gold Billy. Followed on with the old Billy. I'm dilly-dally, dilly-dally. Lost me way and don't know where to go. No, you can't run the threshold like an old-time copper. And I can find my way. Okay, come on.
Mother was bathing her baby one night, the youngest of 10, and a tiny little mite. The mother was poor and the baby was thin, only a skeleton, covered in skin. The mother turned round for the soap on the rack. She was but a minute, but when she turned back, the baby was gone, and in anguish she cried, "Where's my baby?" The angel's tunnel. It was... It was not... Your baby has gone down the plug. Your baby has gone down the plug. The poor little mite was so skinny and slight, he should have been bathed in a jar. Your baby's perfectly happy. Won't need a bath anymore. Your baby has gone down the plug. Oh yeah. Not lost, but a go.
What about a tree? Left inside, all the time, all these old green ions. You can never be the back of the street. Old iron, old iron.
All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air, with one enormous chair I want. Lots of chocolate for us to eat, lots of coal making lots of heat. Warm hands, warm face, warm feet, I want it be lovely. Next one. Oh, so lovely, written, absolutely blooming. I would never search till clean, crept out in the window sill. Then one head lifting on high. Watch it, mate, warm and tender as bees can be. Food take good. How can you think with all that going? I want and it's lovely, yeah, lovely, 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 lovely. Wouldn't it be lovely?
you very much.
Based on The Wizard of Oz, the Monday play from the 22nd of December 1980 was called The Scatterbrained Scarecrow of Oz. Here's a section of it.
Oh, wherever am I? Uncle Henry? Aunt Em? Where are you? Oh, Toto! There you are! Where can we be? Must have come a very long way from home. And you know, I've lost my shoes. Who's there? Haven't we met somewhere before?
I don't think so.
You look familiar.
And you're too familiar. Don't you understand you're not supposed to talk to a sentry when he's on duty?
Oh, are you on duty?
Of course I am. You think I step up and down like this at home?
I don't expect so. It would wear out the carpet.
Very well then.
Can you tell me where I am?
Isn't it obvious?
Well, no, not really.
Look around you. What colour is the sky?
Well, that's a funny question. Green.
What colour is it where you come from?
Well, it's sometimes blue and sometimes grey. Today it was nearly black.
Blue, grey or black?
Yes.
But never green.
That's right. Oh, I do wish you would stop marching.
Very well. Now, there's only one place where the sky is green.
Oh, of course. The Emerald City in the Land of Oz.
Right. That's where you are.
I knew I'd seen you somewhere. You were guarding the gates when I came before.
Before?
Yes, when I came to see the Wizard of Oz. 4 of us came. The Scarecrow.
Scarecrow? You know the Scarecrow?
Of course. Don't you remember?
Yes. Now I come to think hard I do. You had some strange friends with you, a lion and a man made of tin.
That's right. The Cowardly Lion and the Tin Woodman.
Well, it's very nice to have met you again. And now you must go away and let me go with my job.
What is your job?
To stop people like you from bothering the ruler of the Land of Oz.
And who's that?
It used to be the wizard, but he sailed away in a hot air balloon.
Yes?
Now we are ruled by the Scarecrow.
Oh, of course. The wizard put him in charge when he decided to go back home. The Scarecrow's one of my oldest friends. I must see him.
I don't think you'll be lucky. He used to see everybody who called, but just lately he shut himself away in his throne room and refused to meet anybody.
Well, will you please tell him that I'm here?
It won't do any good.
Oh, please.
Very well. What's your name?
Just tell him it's Dorothy and Toto.
Toto?
My name is Dorothy, and this is Toto, my pet mouse.
I shouldn't leave my post, you know. If the captain of the guard appears, I'll get into terrible trouble.
Oh, it won't take a minute.
All right. Now I come to think of it, I do remember your mouse. Hello, Toto.
I didn't think we'd get to the Palace of Oz so quickly. Last time there was a cyclone, it took days and days. I expect the Scarecrow's forgotten me. He has lots of things on his mind nowadays. I don't expect he'll remember anybody unimportant like me.
I've spoken to the great Scarecrow of Oz.
Yes?
He has graciously consented to grant you an audience.
Oh, thank you.
Holloway.
Your Majesty, it's very kind of you to agree to see me.
Dorothy! Can it really be you? Oh, my dear friend, I can hardly believe my eyes.
Scarecrow, it is good to see you.
Oh, I can't tell you how pleased I am to see you. How did you get here?
Oh, it's a long story. A great wind carried me away above the clouds and dropped me here. Oh, how are you? Are you enjoying being the ruler of the Land of Oz? Are you happy?
I was until 3 days ago when a very strange thing happened. Thank you, Guardian. You may go now.
Are you sure you wouldn't like me to stay here in case you want anything?
I'll send for you if I need you.
All right. Just when the conversation was getting interesting.
It's very important that nobody else should hear. Are you listening, Dorothy?
Yes.
Good. Well, when we met before and went to see the Wizard of Oz, do you remember what he gave me?
Of course I do. You wanted a brain so that you would be clever. I only gave you one. It was a little pincushion full of pins and needles.
That's right. When he put it inside my hat, it made me feel very sharp. Later on, when he decided to sail away in his balloon, he said that I was the cleverest man in the whole of Oz and made me the ruler of the Emerald City.
I remember. Everybody was pleased.
My people gave me this crown and I felt very proud. I didn't want my new brains to get rusty, so I used to polish them every day. And I tried to make the land of Oz a happy place for everybody. But now...
What's happened, Scarecrow?
Are you sure that nobody's listening? Come closer. I've lost them.
But that's impossible. I often lose things, I know, but you can't have lost your brains.
Look, when I take my crown off, you can see for yourself. Empty. I'm brainless again.
Oh, never mind, Scarecrow. I liked you before you had any brains, so it doesn't make any difference.
But I must have brains if I'm to be a wise ruler. Who could have taken them? I think it was a witch.
I didn't think there were any witches left in Oz.
Well, there aren't, except the Witch of the North.
Oh, but surely she's a good witch.
The Witch of the North used to be good, but she became jealous of Glinda, the good witch who helps everybody, and she tried to put a spell on her. It went wrong, and turned the Witch of the North into somebody evil. Now she's even uglier than the wicked witches who used to rule this land. I'm sure she's stolen my brains.
What would she want them for?
I know. A spell, maybe.
We must find her. Where does she live?
In a castle in the Mountains of Darkness, which lie to the north of Oz.
Then we must go there at once.
Oh, I know you're very brave, but it is a long way to the witch's castle, and she has evil powers that will make the journey dangerous.
It's a risk that we'll have to take. But I wish that we had somebody strong to go with us.
Oh, I've an idea. Why don't we go and ask our friend the lion to help? Maybe he'll come. He's the most courageous beast in the forest.
Oh, that's a good idea. And I'd like to see the lion again.
Oh, that's settled then. Are we ready?
Yes. Put your crown on.
All right. Yeah, but I feel a fraud. Rulers ought to have brains.
Well, most of them haven't, so I shouldn't let it worry you.
Now, who says that Father Christmas doesn't exist? Here he is, 9th of December 1963, giving an unbroadcast interview to the BBC.
Now, Mr. Hensley, I shan't use the questions on the air. My voice will be cut out, so don't worry about what I say.
Yeah.
As Father Christmas in a big London store, what do you have to do?
Well, we walk around and attired as Father Christmas, of course, and the children come up to us and ask us what they want for Christmas, and we find out what their name is, and then we say, well, if they're a very good child, we'll bring it for them for Christmas.
And do you actually give away anything yourself?
No, we don't here at all. No, we don't do that sort of thing. But if the parents would like to buy some small toy and discreetly give it to us, then we, on their behalf, will give it to the children.
Yes. You say we. I gather there are more than one Father Christmas.
There are
then?
two here, so that the store is covered right from opening time until closing time.
Which is from when to when?
From 9 o'clock at the moment. It's 9 o'clock until 6, and 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
How did you begin as a professional Father Christmas?
Well, I started really in the ordinary sort of way, as to parties and that sort of thing, and they asked me to do it for a joke as Father Christmas, which I did, and subsequently the offer came along to be a sort of professional Father Christmas in this store, and I thought I'd like to try it, and this is my 4th year.
What sort of person do the children expect Father Christmas to be?
Well, I think he's pretty universal, you know. They sort of, they've all got a pretty good conception of Father Christmas with the white beard and the red hood and that sort of thing. And no matter where they come from, as they do here, from all over the world, they all know what Father Christmas should look like and what they expect him to be.
Are there any changes from last year in the sort of things children are asking Father Christmas for?
Not generally. I mean, the boys usually ask for guns, trains, or cars, whilst the girls still like dolls, principally like the talking dolls, of course, and dolls' houses. And, of course, one or two of the more with its generation, they're asking for long-playing records of the Beatles.
As Father Christmas, have you ever been recognised by any of your
Not at all, no. I've had numbers of people I know quite well, children, including nephews and nieces, and they don't recognise me at all.
Can you tell me an amusing or an embarrassing experience you've had as Father Christmas? Do you ever have any?
Not terribly, no. I mean, one has to be quick on the ball, really. They do ask, some children, for things which obviously they're not going to get. You can always get one's cue from the parents. For instance, if they ask for something outrageous like a £165 car, and the parent looks aghast, of course, at this request, then I say, well, I think it's a bit large to come down your chimney. We'll have to get something a bit smaller. And correspondingly, of course, if the child is going to get the toy he or she asked for, then the parent usually says, well, I think, will you put that down, Father Christmas, and make a note of it? So obviously the child's going to get his toy.
But what is the most difficult part of the job?
Well, I think one has to have a lot of patience because particularly here on Saturday mornings, we get absolutely invaded with children, and they're liable to get a bit out of hand. Sometimes they push and get out of turn, and one requires a certain amount of patience to deal with that sort of thing. But otherwise, it's a very interesting job, of course. One of the features here in this store is that annually they do entertain some blind children, which is very nice. They give them a tea here, and Father Christmas goes and meets them all, and there again, though they're blind, they've got an idea of what Father Christmas is like. They like to feel the beard and the whiskers and that sort of thing, and give you their requests for Christmas. Then subsequently, after tea, they come down in the store when the store is closed, and they're allowed to play on the various toys, rides in the cars and so forth. And then they all sit round, and Father Christmas gives them a present each, and they're all called out by name, and of course they have a whale of a time. It's the most satisfying thing, really.
Has anybody ever tried to pull your beard off?
Oh yes, one or two come up and say, Father Christmas, I'm going to pull your beard. And I say, well, no, what will you do if I started to pull your hair? They say, well, we shouldn't like it. I say, well, I shan't like it either.
You've been Father Christmas for the last 4 years here.
Yes.
Has there been any decline in his popularity? Or?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's stronger than ever, really, the appeal of Father Christmas. As I say, they come from all parts here, Americans and Australians, New Zealanders, and they all want the main objective when they come in the store is to see Father Christmas and have a word with him, You get one or two shy ones occasionally who they'll shake hands with Father Christmas, but you can't get a word out of them, and the parents are rather upset about this because they say, well, all the way up in the bus or the train, they've been talking about Father Christmas and what they're going to say to him when they meet him. And then they get all shy, and embarrassed about it. But it's great fun, nevertheless.
Here's a musical interlude from the music of John Barry from Christmas 1972.
Evening. Tonight we're going to listen to the music of John Barry. We're going to see some of the scenes from film that have inspired that music. And as they say, in our native Yorkshire, we're going to meet the lad himself. He's been variously described on LP sleeves as, and I quote, looking like a Roman emperor on a crash diet, a youthful Britisher, and invisible most of the time. His age has been quoted as being 35, 27, 36. This, apart from a qualification as a somewhat small Mr. Universe contestant, also shows just how little is known about him. Well, we hope to rectify that with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. John Barry is music. Well, the theme course from the film Born Free. Later we'll be hearing music from other films that have become synonymous with the John Barry sound, in that Cowboy, Zulu, Goldfinger. It's a pretty long and impressive list. Well, that's the commercial. Let's meet the product, John Barry.
Good evening, Marshall. Good evening, John. Listen, you've written a lot of different kinds of film scores, different kinds of movies. Is there any one kind of movie that's more difficult to write, to score for than another? Well, I think broadly speaking, they get into two categories. One where the scenes are conceived possibly musically by the director. As an example, in The Knack, for instance, Dick Lester, I'm sure, conceived many of the scenes with music in mind.
Where's the starting point? I mean, I can see, you know, there's some wisdom tried to write occasionally. I can see where I get my ideas from, some just something gap on a bus. I mean, I'll make a good little article or whatever. But when your inspiration comes for writing a theme from your movie, I mean, you literally, when you see that piece of raw film, does a tune come into your mind?
No, not a tune, as much as a function. I think Michael Ayrton wrote a marvellous book called The Rudiments of Paradise about art, and he said about an appreciation about it. It was a kind of nervous reaction towards visual phenomena, right down to the height of it. But it really is, that first time you see the picture, a very positive reaction. I think the first reaction towards the picture is the one that I treasure most of all. Yes, and that you might change it radically outright, but the seed is there. You have it. You mentioned there a film that you enjoyed writing for, which was going to have a very loose form, and that was The Knack. Right. Yeah. And we just happened to have next expert, of course, in this program, sitting next to us, Michael Crawford, who was what you were 12, weren't you, Michael, when you did The Knack?
On the 13, as you call it, with the same teeth.
Yeah, and that was only a shoe size. But it was an extraordinary film, though, because I remember when it first came out that it got critical acclaim, but no kind of popular. No kind of popular.
It was at the beginning of all the sort of new wave films. Tom Jones had just been made by the same company, Woodfall, and this was the second, I think. We won the Cannes Film Festival award, and it was something very, very new for the public, which was very hard to take at the time. I would imagine the ruling class is now for certain members of the public to take at the moment, but nevertheless, one can have one's own feeling about it. I think it's a brilliant film, and I thought at that time, when I saw The Knack finally, not when I was making it, you can't really tell because you're too involved with what you're doing, that it was a brilliant film. But when you're saying about it's a very loose sort of film, in fact, I mean, it may appear to be a very loose film, but the timing of films that look as though they're ad-lib is quite extraordinary. Leicester really works to like a Swiss watch, the timing of all comedy.
Yes.
But one could feel that it's necessary to have the really good music there.
Yes. But what about when you saw the finished product and the music was on there? I mean, how much did it do for you, the added dimension, which of course you've not seen until the film was finished?
It just made you tingle. It was everything that you imagined when you were making it.
Music by Candlelight for Christmas Eve, 24th of December 1963.
The time, 8:35. And this is where we welcome listeners to the General Overseas Service of the BBC to Music by Candlelight, a programme of continuous music for Christmas Eve, played by a section of the BBC Concert Orchestra, leader Arthur Levins, conducted by John Hollingsworth, with Patricia Clark, soprano, and the Ambrosian Singers, directed by John McCarthy.
I do love Bob Monkhouse. His collection is fantastic and he was a wonderful man. And here is the happy days of Bob Monkhouse from the 26th of December 1981. This is Brotherhood of Man.
Of November in 1492, it's been said, I've heard it said, Christopher Columbus discovered tobacco. It wasn't Sir Walter Raleigh, he was just the first to put coupons in the packets. In fact, it was discovered by a Frenchman called Jean Nicot, which is why we call it nicotine. Cigarettes are bad for you. I know they're bad for me. I know they're bad for me. Really bad. Ever since my wife came home from a week at her mother's and she found one with lipstick on it. I read all the articles. We all do, don't we? There was one in the paper last week, and it made me so nervous I've gone up to 5 packets a day. Oh. I smoked 2 and coughed 3. But the article said half the women in Britain smoke after making love. I've never noticed that. I really haven't. The half I've been with don't even get warm. My wife never has a cigarette after we make love. She says 1 drag is enough. All right. Did I say I was a great lover? I'm not a great lover. I know, I caught a peeping Tom booing me. The only thrills I get these days are self-inflicted love bites. Well, she's been angry with me. Just ever happened to you, gentlemen? You come home after a hard day, you walk in the house, your wife isn't talking to you, and you don't know why. You know, maybe she remembers from 4 years ago there's something to hate you for, but you don't know what it is. I've got a friend, as soon as he wakes up in the morning, he says, sorry. That covers him for the whole day. And it's not that she's angry. She's not actually angry, because I know my wife very well. She doesn't get angry. But I know this about her. When she doesn't say something, it's because she wants me to notice what it is without her telling me. You know what I mean? So now I have to start the treasure hunt. First of all, I check her hair colour to make sure it's the same as when I left in the morning. I carry swatches. Then I go through the clothes cupboards to make sure no new shipments have arrived that day. Then I check the address, because maybe she moved while I was gone. And then I couldn't guess what this was this last week. I couldn't guess what it was for the life of me. And she said, you didn't even notice, she said. You didn't even notice I've stopped smoking. I didn't notice when she started. I didn't. Smoking's a very difficult habit to break. You've got to have a substitute. I found my wife running behind a bus inhaling the fumes. Can you imagine, though, what things were like when nobody had tobacco? Right back, way back, before we had any tobacco at all, just people walking around with filters in their mouths. And they try to sell us them. They're not allowed to do it on television, right? They're not allowed to do overt advertising of that kind, not for cigarettes. But they can do it in the cinema. They give you an idea, if you smoke a certain brand, you can do anything. You can make love to film stars, and you can walk through cool green waterfalls with a gorgeous girl, right? And ride a horse. And they make out you can fly. Of course, it's a little difficult to get that kind of cigarette. I'll ask Max Harris and the boys, they should know. Hey, I can cheer you up, guys. Do you know that smoking marijuana was not against the law when Britain's first official police force was formed? That was on the 29th of September in 1829, and the men were called Bobbies. That was after Bobby Peel, their founder. Must have been awful in those days, trying to make a getaway on a penny farthing bike and getting caught by the peelers. Oh, unless they're meeting Brotherhood of Man, in which case they say, hello, 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 and they whip out their whistles and they play Chanson d'amour.
Chanson d'amour. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Play uncle. Here in my heart. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. More and more. Chanson d'amour. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Je t'adore. Each time I hear ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Chanson, chanson d'amour. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Ra-ta-ta-ta. chanson d'amour. Chanson d'amour.
What can we say? A little bit of help there from Bob and Friends, I should say. And that comes from our new double album. And also does this next song. It's a song written by Dave Townsend, and it's called Miss Unites.
I've had many times, I can tell you, times when innocence I'd trade for company, and children saw me crying. I thought I'd had my share of that, but these misunites are the longest. Midnight diamonds set my heaven, southward burning like the jewels that are your place, and the warm winds that embrace me just as surely kissed your face. Yeah, these misunites are the longest. How I miss you, how I miss you, I'm not likely to tell. I'm a woman on cold daylight, buys the pride I'd rather sell. All my secrets are a wasted affair. You know them well. My going, how to cut the thread and leave it all behind. Looking windward for my compass. I take each day as it arrives, but these misunites are the longest. Lay down all thoughts of yours, surrender. It's only me who's killing time. Lay down all dreams and dreams remembered. It's just the same, this miss you gave. But these misunites are the longest.
Brotherhood of Man. Beautiful song that is. It's Miss Unites. Accompanied by Max Harris and his magnificent band. 1 on piano, 1 on bass, 2 on percussion, 10 on brass, all 14 on probation.
And 20 years earlier, here's Dennis Goodwin and Bob Monkhouse doing a Christmas extract from London Lights on the 24th of December 1961.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, everyone. We think that Huey is the end, too.
Yeah, but the other end. This is Bob, ladies
This
and
is
gentlemen.
Dennis,
And this is Christmas Eve.
Ladies and gentlemen, my birthday, you know, Bob.
Your birthday?
Yes, I was born on December the 24th.
Why?
I wanted to be home for Christmas.
Oh, I see.
Actually, I'd like to own a department store at this time of the year.
Yes, so would I, Dennis. That'll be. I did some shopping at a store last week, and it was so crowded. I mean, really packed. One woman picked up a corset, another woman tried it on, another woman paid for it. The sales girl wrapped it up, and I wore it home.
I've got a suggestion. It's about time you took it off.
It shows.
But you know, I've got a great present for my wife. She's crazy about antiques. She collects old English mugs.
That's obvious. From Walham Green. You know, not only are the stores crowded, Dennis, but what about the buses? Have you been on a bus lately? They are so... I got on a bus the other day. It's the first time I've ever seen people standing on people who were sitting on standing people.
Should have been on my bus yesterday. You know, it was packed. It was so packed. Then suddenly a lady with a fur coat bent over to tie her shoelace just as we came to a bus stop.
What happened?
It's now the only bus in London with a rug on the floor.
I hope you got me a decent present this year, Dennis.
I see. Well, I'll tell you, Bob, I've been living opposite you for 6 years, and I've noticed you've got no TV aerial on your roof. That means you've got no television set, and that's where I got the idea for your gift.
Oh, Dennis, you don't mean...
Yes, here's a telescope, and I'll take my curtains down.
Well...
Somebody's trying.
Yes, I did. I tried to buy you the thing you need the most, Dennis. I really did, but I couldn't find any place that sells talent.
You can't dampen my spirits today. I'm sorry. In fact, here's a little Christmas Eve present for you. An incense burner and a mirror.
An incense burner and a mirror. What do I do with the incense burner?
You burn a little stinker in it.
Oh, where can I find a little stinker?
That's where the mirror comes in. Of course, Christmas is the time of the year when we all have to remember the well-known phrase, love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor. I remember that the whole year round.
Why is that?
I live next door to Diana Dawes.
Tell me, is that the house with the big balcony?
Yeah, that's the one, Dennis, and there's a big 20-foot wall all around it.
20-foot wall? That's unusual.
Yes, I can't get over it.
You know, Bob, I've often wondered what animals think about at Christmas.
What animals think about? Well, let's find out. Let's listen to two sheep talking. Moo. Moo? What do you mean, moo?
I'm taking up a foreign language. We take you now to one of Britain's leading rest homes.
Doctor, my husband thinks he's a washing machine.
I see.
All day long, he rolls his head round and round, and back and forth, and soap and water keeps coming out of his ear hole.
And you want me to cure him?
No, I want you to mend him. He's not getting the wash clean.
And now, as modern as tomorrow, we bring you the Monkhouse Goodwin headline news service.
Flash! Man completes his 50th year of driving in London.
And he still can't find a parking space.
Flash!
Flash! Government determined to solve egg shortage.
All-night sittings in Parliament.
Flash!
Now listen, who are you calling Flash? This is a pretty smart outfit. I put the first deposit on this suit today.
Yes, so I see. A scrambled egg, wasn't it?
You'll be sorry you spoke to me like that one of these days. I'm going to wind up at the top of the tree.
Now, why's that, Huey?
Dad's in the leather business.
Dad's in the leather business. I can't help laughing when I see a joke.
You must kill yourself when you're shaving.
Dennis, we mustn't be rude to Huey Green. Remember what we were saying before? Love thy neighbor.
Oh, love thy neighbor, Bob. That's an idea, and I really believe in it.
Now, why is that, Huey?
I live next door to Diana Dawes.
No, just a minute. Huey, we've already done that joke, you know.
What joke? I really do live next door to Diana Dawes.
You really do?
Oh, yes. And it's true. She really has got the 20-foot wall around her house.
Then what are you looking so happy about?
Because Dad really is in the leather business.
Oh, it's not Huey's fault, ladies and gentlemen. When he was born, they kept the hot water and threw the baby away.
drunks talking.
Hello, Charlie. Where have you been the last 6 months?
I got married.
Oh, that's good.
Not that good. She's very ugly.
Oh, that's bad.
Not that bad. She's very rich.
Oh, that's good.
Not that good. She's very stingy.
Oh, that's bad.
Not that bad. She bought me a new house.
Oh, that's good.
Not that good. It burned down.
Oh, that's bad.
Not that bad. She was in it.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Son of Cliche on BBC Radio 4 were doing some spoofs at Christmas 1984. On the 29th of December 1984, here's Chris Barry, Nick Wilton, Nick Maloney doing Indiana Jones Goes to the Dentist, written by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor.
The hero is back. Now Indiana Jones bursts onto your radio sets. You thrill to raiders. You chill the Temple of Doom. Now see him kill even more foreign people in Indiana Jones Goes to the Dentist.
Yes, Mr. Jones, you have an appointment at 11:30 with Mr. Pullen. Just go straight through.
What? His name, Dr. Jones.
Shut up, kid. Just go through the door. Whoa! Look out, it's a cliff! Whoa! Hang on, kid. I'm gonna turn my whip into a helicopter. Whoa!
Oh, thank God, we are safe now.
Oh, look out, kid. A Messerschmitt. Ah! Hang on, kid. Hang on. We're going into a waterfall.
Oh. Indy, I cannot swim.
It doesn't matter, kid. The crocodiles are gonna eat us anyway.
Well, you killed all the clocks. What are you gonna do about the natives with the poison dart guns?
Oh, shit. Well, we killed all the natives, the crocodiles, the Germans. I guess that only leaves the flying snakes. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Quick, kid! This way! Let's crawl through this incredibly thin abyss.
Hey, Indy, what are these disgusting crunchy things we're stepping on?
Oh, my God. Rice Krispies. I hate Rice Krispies.
Forget the Rice Krispies, Indy. We're about to be crushed by this great big steel ball.
All right, quick, Shorty, through this door.
Mr. Jones, 2 fillings and a polish, wasn't it?
Don't miss Indiana Jones Goes to the Dentist. Coming soon to your radio set.
Dave Hollins, Space Cadet.
This is Stellar Trader Dave Hollins calling Earthcom 7B7. I'm 6 trillion years from Earth. I was supposed to spend the journey in suspended animation, but I don't know, I just couldn't get to sleep. I'm circling a Class 3 planet which has 3 moons. One is volcanic, one is gas, and the other moon is wearing an Hawaiian shirt. Hap, can you give me a bioscan on that moon?
Certainly, Dave. It is not, in fact, a moon. It's an enormous fat man floating in space.
Is he alive?
Yes, Dave. You see, the planet below has inverted gravity.
You mean things fall upwards?
Precisely, Dave.
Can't be much fun Shrove Tuesday. Goodbye, pancakes.
They don't toss pancakes, Dave. They bounce them.
But if everything goes up, how do the people stay down there?
Over the centuries, the Zygons have evolved feet made of Velcro.
So in short, Hab, that guy who's the size of a moon ate so much he got ripped up into orbit. But what about the Hawaiian shirt? Why is he wearing it outside his trousers?
Because, Dave, he believes it makes him look slimmer.
Can you set up a link with him, Hab? Tell him we're the little spaceship orbiting his waistline.
He says he's been up there 3 years now, Dave. He travels between the moons, propelling himself by burping and breaking wind.
Oh, boy. I wouldn't like to be in this star zone when he does a body belch, man.
At the moment, Dave, he's stranded. He's completely mined all the pinto beans off both moons.
That poor fat guy is stuck out there in that stupid shirt. Can't anybody help him?
He can never return to the planet's surface. No one can help him. Wait, Dave. Secure yourself, shockwave approaching.
What's happening, Hab? Give me Viddy. Look. There's another moon now. This moon's wearing a pink smock and yellow slacks.
It's his wife, Dave. She spent the last 3 years eating so she could join him in orbit.
What's that she's got with her? It's a giant bag of pinto beans. Look. They're holding hands. Wow. She must be pretty crazy about him. What a love story. There they go, burping their way into the sunset. I don't think I've ever seen anything so beautiful in all my life. What do you say, Hab?
I'd just like a second to myself, please, Dave.
Sure, Hab. And when you've got yourself together, let's get out of here.
Okay, Dave.
Dave Hollins, Space Cadet.
The critics on BBC Radio 1959 reviewed a pantomime called Aladdin from the Colosseum featuring Bob Monkhouse. This is their review from the 27th of December 59.
This is the BBC Home Service presenting The Critics. They will discuss The Innocent Eye, an exhibition of paintings at the Crane Calman Gallery, Brompton Road. The film On the Beach at the Leicester Square Theatre. The pantomime Aladdin at the Coliseum. The radio series Today, with special reference to the programme broadcast on Monday the 21st of December in the Home Service. And the book The Lamp of Beauty, Writings on Art by John Ruskin. The chairman is Philip Hope Wallace, who opened the discussion.
Much more frivolous, the pantomime Aladdin at the Coliseum. J.W. Lambert, please. We all live under a shadow, but we are entitled to amuse ourselves at the same time. Pantomime, and so on. Well, I should say that this handsome show marks another stage in pantomime's gradual change into a sort of junior musical. And I do hope that nobody will expect me to deplore the decline of the good old pantomime tradition. After all, pantomime's been changing throughout its 2,000-year history, and anyway, some of its recent accretions, such as the principal boy, a whacking red woman in tights, and a sprinkling of mildly dirty jokes, seem to me things we're better off without. Aladdin does, unfortunately, at the beginning anyway, keep some off-white jokes. But then, to make up, it rightly also keeps its dame, the widow Twankey, of course, played with spirit by Ronald Shiner, and instead of a principal boy, it has an agreeable young comedian, Bob Monkhouse. Now, if these two aren't as funny as they might be, the blame must be laid partly on the poorish book, but more on the producer, Robert Helpman, who seems to show no feeling for knockabout rhythms. And then, although the tunes and lyrics are by Cole Porter, they're very reminiscent of himself and Gilbert and Sullivan, for instance. Ah, you say to yourself, I hear you. Here we go, the grumbles pile up. But no, for me there's much more to enjoy and praise than to cavil at in this Aladdin. Mr. Helpman makes amends with some crowded but elegant choreography, happily led by Anne Heaton, and Ronald Shiner's solo gyrations between a copper, I mean the thing you wash clothes in, a tap and an iron, had the whole audience shouting its head off. And didn't you like Jessie Caron's contortionist slave of the ring, who so unnervingly conversed while more than doubled up? But above all, there were Loudon St. Hill's sets and costumes, for a palace and a square and baths and golden caverns, for a garden of jewelled fruit and an icy paradise. How very clearly he's judged precisely the degree of garishness we need. Didn't you think these spinning scenes were gay and delightful? Governor Hansel Johnson.
I think this must be the prettiest pantomime that's ever been seen at all. One gorgeous scene melts into another gorgeous scene. There's always something for the eye, always moving, always pretty. And what I felt about it, I thought, well, here's Mr. St. Hill's sets, and this is what suits him down to the ground. Because I've admired his sets before at Stratford and elsewhere, but always thought They're a little bit too pantomime-like. His sets for The Tempest were rather like a pantomime. Well, now he's designing a pantomime, and it's perfect.
Very clear. Yes, I think it's perfect. It's a pantomime that's never been seen before. I don't know whether it's a pantomime that will please the children, but it seems to me a sort of top-notch, second-rate edition of almost everything that we value. Very good, but not absolutely first-class dancing. Very good, but not absolutely scholarly scenery. And fairly good music, appropriate music, not robust. But I'm afraid for me it was ruined by the principals, who seemed to me just television personalities transferred to the theatre and quite incapable of holding their own.
Roger Melville. Well, maybe the principles for a second is to say that surely musically, although this was a vintage Cole Porter, or whatever word you like to use, it did, the fact that he composed and saw the thing as a whole, did make it musically all of one piece. It is continuity music. Therefore, I thought was satisfactory, though never brilliant Cole Porter.
Yes, the pity of it is, of course, when you say he composed it, in point of fact, the orchestrations were done by, as so often happens in musicals, by other hands, which gives the whole thing a kind of anonymity, which is very trying.
But it wasn't a patchwork of pop tunes, which the normal pantomime usually
But don't you want a patchwork to a certain extent? I long for a good old chorus song like I do like a nice mince pie.
Yes, or indeed, do kippers swim folded or flat? I thought Jack Lambert was terribly ungracious, especially at Christmas time, to the principal boy of yesteryear. He called her a whacking great woman in tights. What a horrible thing to say. She was a handsome contralto who slapped her thigh, and it was a thigh worth slapping. I mean, those really were the days, and I missed, too, as Pamela Hansford Johnson did, the variety one used to get in pantomime. This was all spectacle, whereas the pantomime one looks forward to used to switch from spectacle to sentiment to magic to knockabout, and then to these wonderful choruses that you all joined in.
But it wasn't all spectacle. What an extraordinary thing to say. We had at least 2 love duets. We had contortionists, tumblers, ballet dancers. We'll call that spectacle if you like. I see Philip Morris is regretting the change, but this is a change, as I began by saying. The pantomime is, I think, changing. I think I'm deeply regretting the people who knew how to do it. I mean, you may not have liked the principal boy as such, but at any rate, at the moment when Aladdin is sealed into the cave, she would have had every child and half the adults in the house with their hearts in their mouths, thinking, this is terrible, he's shut in there. And the extraordinary thing is that with Helpman in control, it's extraordinary that we don't get more fun out of it, because he himself is a most wonderful fun mime as a dancer.
Don't you think, surely, Ronald Shiner was extremely funny as Widow Twankey?
Well, I do, yeah.
Yes, I think he was funny in the sense of a stage comedian, but not a musical comedian. The attacks got to be quicker. The attacks got to be more robust. I thought he lost the point of that attack copper thing.
Oh, the kids round us were drowning our ears with noise.
Oh, yes, kids were drowning our ears with noise, but he wasn't quick enough on his cues. He wasn't trying to make the musical all effect.
He wasn't doing this on his own. I mean, you put a tap and you put a copper, and they both go off at intervals, and you put Dante running the show, and everybody will roar with laughter. It wasn't he that was doing it.
Sure.
And the thing runs on prettiness and splendid ideas. There's a lovely idea, I don't know whether you mentioned, which was that we all light up matches to make stars in the sky, and charming castles will grow out of, which is a lovely idea.
Yes, I hoped somebody would, in fact, mention that, because here, it seemed to me, was audience participation at its best. The children were all shouting copper tap, and so on. May I ask, when we were asked on the stroke of 8 to strike a match or a cigarette lighter, how many of you round this table actually struck one?
I did.
I couldn't.
But could Mr. Monkhouse have got us to sing a chorus song, which is quite...
I do hope not. I must say, I think striking match is infinitely preferable to singing chorus songs. Well, that is part of the old tradition of pantomime, is it not? And I think the pantomime tradition is changing and should change. It is changing not at all for the worse. Good. Happy note to end on. Now we turn to the radio program called Today, broadcast in the home service on
the 22nd of December 1980, here's Clement Freud doing a thoroughly uncomprehensive reflection on the School of St. Trinians.
Clement Freud presents Thoroughly Uncomprehensive, a reflection on the School of St. Trinians, from the cartoons by Ronald Searle.
These or for Centrinian schoolgirls that I do. I mean, they're quite fun while they last, but I know perfectly well, I can see the day when they're going to pass by as another idea which was good while it lasted and then gradually faded out.
That was a brave and unusual statement. By and large, when someone achieves a success in something, no matter what, he cashes in on it, which is why comedians tell the same jokes, writers write the same books, singers sing the same songs, even in some cases sons take up songs when their fathers die. Lyricists, when they hit a golden patch, keep at it, which is why we always forget whether this or that comes from Oklahoma, South Pacific, Annie Get Your Gun, Pal Joey, or maybe the same song was in all of them. The artist who creates, succeeds, exploits, and then puts up the shutters is a rare breed. And as often as not, when they say, this is my last Biggles book, or my last painting of matchstick men, or my last perforated sculpture, artists stick to their promises as realistically as heavyweight boxers abide by their declarations to retire. Ronseau was a sensitive, gifted artist when he drew a cartoon of a beastly schoolgirl in 1941. He continued the work when he was released from being a prisoner of war of the Japanese in 1945, went on doing Centrinian's cartoons until 1952, when he decided, as you've heard, that enough was enough and returned to serious art. Oddly enough, the most Trinian-esque person I know is a man, the peripatetic football manager Tommy Docherty, who speaks straight out of soul, as it were. Tommy Docherty, whose motto is, do unto others and run like hell. And Tommy Docherty, who once said to me, a friend in need is a pain in the arse. Conan Doyle, when he disposed of Sherlock Holmes, did at least have the Reichenbach Falls from which it was hard to clamber back. And for all Searle's efforts, Centrinians does live on.
Centrinians has gone. Encouraged by the success of recent atomic explosions in the Pacific, the school nuclear fission experts threw themselves into their experiments with renewed enthusiasm, and with the help, thanks to certain old girls, of some newly acquired top-secret information, achieved their object at midnight last night. The remains of the school are still smouldering. By some miracle, the statue of our patron saint, scorched but uncracked, still stands where once the ripple of girlish laughter could be heard on a clear, frosty morning. The fate of the teaching staff is unknown, nay, will never be known, and few young ladies are believed to have survived. This blow, from which Centrinians cannot recover, the building fund has been embezzled anyway, may bring a sigh of relief to many a parent and a quiet tear from true lovers of healthy girlhood. Let it suffice for us to say, before we draw a veil over the last broken limb, we are proud that the name of Centrinians has echoed through this land.
So Centrinians, recognized with a slight shudder by the Board of Education and immensely appreciated by the rest of us, has gone. It's gone because the age which considered a revolt against authority as a giggle is behind us. School fiction hasn't stopped. School Friend and Bunty and all the other school magazines go on from success to success. If we're to look at Centrinians of the future, I suppose the best bet would be a Bunty type of school where clear-eyed, lissom athletic prefects call the grubby, acne-ed little fourth former a filthy sneak. And that will sell 6,500 copies, which is roughly what The Terror of Centrinian sold in hardback, against the 100,000 sales of the Bunties of the 1990s, in which a nuclear scientist introduces lethal propane gas into Thursday's fish pie. But then with all those factual stories for girls, who will want to read fiction?
Bringing us towards a rather serene end for this first part of the Christmas Kaleidopod are some carols from Canterbury from the 20th of December 1960 from Southern TV, Carols from Canterbury. To all of you, for peaceful rest of Christmas Eve. Enjoy our special Kaleidopod tomorrow on Christmas Day, and our next Kaleidopod returns on New Year's Eve to wrap up the year. Good night.